And blessed to start your day on the right side. Kevin Miller in the morning on KIDO Talk Radio. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We'll start the day off by taking your phone calls. And I had just a weird day today coming into the radio station. And, you know, with everybody doing the lip sync challenges and such, and before long, everybody's going to be doing the lip sync challenges. And whether you're our friends in Nampa or Caldwell or Meridian or ISP or hopefully Boise or Charlotte or Norfolk. Some of these things are really good. You know, before long, everybody's going to be doing it, and I think it's great, especially when it's self-deprecating. So this morning I was driving in. For some reason, I thought, how could the Miller Militia do a lip-sync challenge? And the craziest song came over, and you have to be a little older to appreciate this song. And I hope you get the intended humor on this. So let's just take a look.
Where's Dave?
2.
Somebody want to wake up Dave? Rolling.
Dave!
Hey, another spectacularly captivating world premiere video.
You can't take your eyes off of it, and you can only see it here.
Live on Dave TV.
Cut it!
Cut it. Thank you, Dave.
Dave, forget about it.
What can I say, Mr. Roth? Isn't he great?
Forget about it.
David, you've got charisma.
Huh? Great, Dave.
David, my kids would simply kill me if you're going to sign a cooking for them. Forget about it, Dave.
So again, what you're hearing is a video by David Lee Roth. And again, it's a little strange, but I think the humor in it would be great. And again, because we always want to make it a family-friendly show, you know, the song, and you remember this back in the old days.
The crowded love me. Hey, you in the red. Yeah.
The old song, Just a Gigolo. Now, certainly no one here is a gigolo. But the self-deprecating aspect of it, I could see Tea Party Bob, Liberty Linda.
Just like this.
Liberal Steve, Max, Pete. Anyway, that was just a dream. We won't bore you with that anymore. Let's start the day, just talking about a few issues here at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. The president talking about dealing with the Iranians. By the way, congratulations to the Big Mac. It's 50 today. I know you're thinking, Kevin, are you ever going to start the program? Well, it's going to be the hottest day of the year. Okay, let's get back to this. So the president of the United States has said that he's open to talking to the Iranians. How many of us remember what the Iranians did to us in 1979? How many times did we want to hate and physically shoot and kill the Ayatollah Khomeini? How many people in the age of Twitter, Facebook, social media, people making millions of dollars off speculative non-brick-and-mortar things, can remember the days of Pontiac, the Oldsmobile, Chrysler, when Chrysler was king? The year was 1979. Jimmy Carter was in office. And Mike Wallace, a few years before that on 60 Minutes, when there were 3 channels. And folks, if you're too young for this, I apologize for the dated references. Don't mean to not have you as part of the conversation. You can read about this in your history books. You can read about this anywhere else. And I can remember Mike Wallace interviewing then the Ayatollah Khomeini, because the Shah of Iran ran Iran. The Shah was our boy. He was a dictator. It's funny, here we are, a country that celebrates liberty and freedom, and so blessed to live in it, so blessed to be born here, so blessed to live here, so blessed to earn our citizenship legally, and yet to keep the world safe in our own national interests. More often than not, we support the strongmen. More often than not, we support the dictators, right? But at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, I remember Mike Wallace interviewing the Ayatollah. And then all of a sudden you had the Revolutionary Guard, you had the overthrow, the Shah gets cancer, he comes to America, and all of a sudden they take our hostages. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there is one of the Iranian hostages that lives in Idaho. Mark Bowden wrote a great book, Guests of the Ayatollah. Wonderful book on the subject. And talked about what happened to the hostages, how they were tortured, how they were threatened, how they were treated. It was, some could say, the beginning of the decline of the American empire, American influence. No one goes into anybody's embassy, even to this day. The Iranians, since then, star-crossed lovers, star-crossed paths. They sponsor Hezbollah. They sponsor terrorism. They're bad people. Now, the Iranian people, it has been rumored they love America, but they're ruled by a theocracy, by the mullahs that support Hamas, Hezbollah, the PLO, anybody that's, anti-American, the great Satan, they call us. In fact, one of the missed calls of this program was before they had the third or fourth revolution, we were negotiating, in other words, I was negotiating to go into Iran and to do a talk show from there. But then the whole thing blew up, and that just didn't happen. So you hear the President of the United States wanting to talk to the Iranians. Your thoughts on this? We'll get to that in a minute. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Here's John Decker with the details.
At a joint press conference with Italy's Prime Minister, President Trump said he's open to a face-to-face meeting with Iranian President Hassan Rouhani.
I do believe that they will probably end up wanting to meet, and I'm ready to meet anytime they want to. And I don't do that from strength or from weakness. I think it's an appropriate thing to do.
The president has already pulled the U.S. out of the Iran nuclear deal, and tensions rose last week between the U.S. and Iran after President Trump appeared to threaten military action against the country in a tweet. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
So here we have it, something personal, something visceral, something that we all can relate to as Americans. What those people did to us. What those people continue to do to us. The Straits of Hormuz, taking American hostages, killing Americans. Now, again, Donald Trump is the best thing that happened to America since Ronald Reagan. People, you heard the Fox News report trying to discredit his North Korean outreach. Somewhere Obama has got to be punching himself, or Mrs. Obama's got to be yelling at him, because this is exactly what Obama wanted to do. He wanted to go to North Korea and, hug Kim, little Kim. He wanted to go, look, he sold us out with the Iranian arms deal. Trump goes there. And Trump, in this age of Twitter, in this age of demeaning people, in this age of a click and a dizzle and a dazzle, is the same thing as a relationship, is old school. He understands the value of a relationship, and that's what he's seeking to build with the Iranians. Now, to me, I think it comes down to this. There could be no reconciliation. My own personal view is we must destroy them before they destroy us. But that's where you come in. Let's get your reaction. 580-5436. 580-KIDO. The president saying, look, we may shut down the government over the illegals, over the wall. The president saying, I'm going to reach out to the Iranians. The president in North Korea, he certainly does not follow the tune of anybody but himself. And that's what a leader does, right? You elect a leader to lead. We go to Bob in Meridian with Kevin Miller on 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning.
Morning, Kevin. I'm just wondering if he shuts down the government, would that shut down Mueller, where we wouldn't have any money to keep doing this stupid Russia interference?
If they shut down not Paul Manafort, but Robert Mueller, that would be funny.
Yeah, I'm wondering what would you think? How much money has the American taxpayer spent on this big?
10 million at least, I think.
Oh, millions, right? Millions, yeah. Probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just incredible. That's all I had to say, Kevin. I really enjoy your show, and I'll let you go.
Thank you for listening, Bob. We appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bob in Meridian on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Kevin Miller in the morning, taking your phone calls about the news that matters to you. And, Bob, thank you for getting us on that government shutdown. Here's what the president had to say.
If we don't get border security, after many, many years of talk within the United States, I would have no problem doing a shutdown.
You know something? I think he's got a point. Speaking of pointy, Liberal Steve joins us now with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, sir. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, Mr. Kim, you just call up Pompeo and you call up Mr. Trump and you just tell them what they want to hear and share a McDonald's burger with them. And when he leaves, you won't be Rocket Man anymore. You'll be Missile Man. And I wonder if they're manning the fort there at Paul's place. The whole thing is crumbling. And all the deplorables just hired a guy that said what they want to hear. Not the truth, just what they want to hear. Golly gee whiz, this is crumbling faster than a cookie in an old jar. It's so sad. Can't believe people put this guy in place.
You know what's sadder?
You know what's sadder?
Your phone call.
The Russians still have the tape. Putin's over there laughing, Kim's laughing, and now the Iranians are laughing. Should have just sent us money like Obama did. We would have left you alone. Come on. And then pounding on the war drums like they did in Iraq. Boom, 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 boom. Weapons of mass destruction. Boom, 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 boom. Couldn't find any. Boom, boom. Now we got to take all the refugees like we did in Vietnam. Boom, boom, boom.
I've just come up with a new name for you.
Are you a real American? You love America.
I would be the skipper, and you would be our Gilligan, little buddy. And you know what happens when Gilligan got on the line with the skipper? He would get scolded, and then the skipper would grab his hat and whack him in the head.
How come the skipper always played the dummy? Like he couldn't figure out what was going on until the last second. Is that you, Skipper?
I'd gladly be the skipper to your Gilligan.
Yeah, well, it's all going down. Looks like Donnie Trump Jr., who divorced his wife of many years and going with the Fox girl. Doesn't sound like she's so foxy. Sounds like he's going to be doing a little jail time.
Sounds like all you do is write these bits
jail
like
time.
you're Stephen Colbert.
Let's
get back to some points.
Jail time.
The economy is doing well. People are buying more. Housing is back. Remember what happened under your guy, Obama? People were so distraught they thought they would never own homes anymore. Now homes are back. Cars are back. America is back. And by the way, remember, Kimberly Guilfoyle is a friend of mine. So watch yourself, buddy.
You know who thought all that they'd never have homes again? That was losers. That was deplorable.
That was Obama.
That was people that thought Mexico's going to pay for it.
Well, Mexico will pay for it, sir.
And Trump has spent $23 million on his golf outings. $23 million. What's that compared to what you were just talking about? That your Bobby boy was talking about there a few seconds ago, about $10 million on something. Come on. I tell you what, and it's just out of control, Miller.
Kind of like this phone call.
Well, I tell you what, call up Iran and say, we'll meet with you, and you can stop doing what you're doing, and we'll give you whatever you want, like we did with Kim. Did we give him whatever he wants? Yeah, we stopped the war games right away.
We've stopped the war games before.
Oh, quit making excuses, would you, Golly? Every time.
Is there really anything else? I mean, we were talking about the Iranian situation. So you're against the president meeting with the Iranians?
I'm not against anything the president wants to do because he's a loser, period.
Well, sir, we so appreciate your positive, uplifting message today.
And
we appreciate you listening to 107.5 FM and 580
I'm a real
AM,
American. Bye, Miller. I'm a real American. Bye.
God bless. Bless your heart. Phone number is 580-5436. 580-KIDO. More of your thoughts on the president going to the to Iran. By the way, also an interesting article at KIDOTalkRadio.com. How safe do you feel in the Treasure Valley? Off of what we spoke about yesterday, the idea of more people coming in. Does that mean more crime? And do we need more police? Your thoughts next with me, Kevin Miller, on KIDO Talk Radio. Our time is 6:24. By the way, before we get back to talking about the president possibly shutting down the government, going to Iran, your thoughts on his leadership, Robert Mueller, Rudy Giuliani. Oh, my goodness, it's not even 6:30. Big ups to everybody working today. Well, Kevin, that's great. Yeah, I know. Everybody on Social Security appreciates you because thanks to you, we can continue to fund our beloved old people, right? We love the old people. We're all old people, whether we're born old like some of us or we've aged into that category. But everybody working today, and by the way, if you want to give a shout out to anybody working in the heat at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your husband, maybe it's your son, maybe it's your daughter. I mean, think about this. That road work has to be some of the toughest work around. And I know you sit there and nobody likes to see the sign person, especially when they have stop instead of slow. And we're always critiquing, well, they should get this done. Hurry up. But can you imagine working in this heat? And you go, well, it's not so bad. I go in, I go out. And that smack that you get of that blanket heat when you walk out the door, imagine doing that every day. And to people that are training on the range with the Gowan Field, maybe people at Mountain Home with the planes and everything else, servicing them. Never mind. I mean, huge shout out to everybody working in the heat. The people building all these homes that hopefully that we can afford, these new schools, these new structures. There's no heat days for people that work outside. Now, I'm outside talking to my dad yesterday, and I've got a long sleeve shirt on because, melanoma is a real threat for me and for everyone in Idaho, and I firmly believe in that. Somebody says, boy, you look hot. Yeah, I am hot, but imagine the people that are out every day. I saw a couple kids working at the Home Depot. Guy looked like his skin had been worn out. He was only 23 because of the heat. I mean, this could be the hottest day of the year, the most dangerous day of the year. Please be careful. Hydrate. If you feel, don't keep trying to take one for the team. Play the long game. So again, big ups to everybody working today in the heat. Doug in Mountain Home joins us now on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you for working what you're doing. I love this station. I just wanted to say, yeah, my son and BCI crew is working over here on the dairy, pouring cement and the stuff. I mean, digging ditches in the dirt. You got all the Mexican farmhands out there in the middle of it. I mean, I'm working, Kevin, driving a truck, but at least you got some air coming in. Thanks for the nurses that are working. I know they're in air-conditioned rooms, but I got VA. Thank you for the nurses at VA. My daughter-in-law is a registered nurse. Thank you for working. And, yeah, I'm on Social Security, but I'm still working. I just started it. So, anyway, it ain't like some kids or some people think, it's a giveaway. No, it ain't. You paid into it all your dang life. And I wish they'd quit robbing out of it. I seen my grandparents, clear back in the 50s and 60s, they were robbing out of it then, Kevin. Them freaking politicians can't leave nothing alone. If there's money laying around somewhere, they're going to have their hands in it. I talking with you yesterday about this government shutdown. You know what? Seen plenty of them, and them guys still got a paycheck. I mean, I know some of them, while they were in the military defense, they still got a paycheck. I don't know what to say. I know they're not helping Trump. So what do you think about it? What's your perspective on it? And I'll get off here.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Doug, God bless. My perspective next. First, traffic and weather together.
What's Eric Gibbard?
And we appreciate that. Again, hats off to everybody working today in the heat. If you'd like to give someone a shout-out like our friend Doug did, we'd love to hear from you. Look, I think the only way that you're going to get change when it comes to the wall, to the illegals, to the Republicans, to the Democrats, is you go all in. That's what the president's doing. More on that in a minute. Kevin Miller on 107.5 FM, 580 AM, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Kevin.
The Constitution's protections don't end at the parish parking lot, nor can our freedoms be confined to our basements. Under this administration, the federal government is not just reacting to these challenges. We are actively seeking, carefully, thoughtfully, lawfully, to accommodate people of faith.
There we have it. The Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, speaking from the heart yesterday concerning establishing a religious liberty task force with reports and analysis. She's not our political expert, but she is from New York, currently via Memphis. Tanya J. Powers of Fox News Radio on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning.
Good morning.
So here we have the Attorney General speaking from the heart yesterday about a religious liberty task force. What does this really mean?
Well, here's how it came to be, first of all. Last year, President Trump signed the executive order regarding religious liberty and religious freedoms. And then in October, Attorney General Sessions put out a memo that basically outlined some of the things that, they wanted to protect and make sure were being upheld as far as religious liberty and religious freedom goes. Then this task force that he announced yesterday during the department's summit on religious tolerance is a byproduct of both of those other things from last year. That's kind of how we got here. And he said that in his remarks yesterday that American culture has become less hospitable to people of faith, and what this task force would do is protect people's religious freedom and convictions.
Indeed, of course, very emotional yesterday for Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, I mean, he made several comments about, different examples of, what he viewed as, intolerance toward religious liberty, and mentioned Jack Phillips a couple of different times. He's the Colorado baker who refused to make a cake for a same-sex couple. That one went all the way to the Supreme Court. He said nuns were being forced to buy contraceptives. That's not completely accurate, but the point was, of course, to reference the Obama administration healthcare policy, and contraceptives for women and faith-based groups' health plans. That was a whole huge court case. So this was a couple of things that he pointed out. He also pointed out that it was a dangerous movement that he said was eroding protections for religious Americans, and this is one of the things that this task force would, I guess, keep in check.
Keeping it in check. Very interesting. I don't know if we've ever had an administration so opposite the previous one. You could make the argument with Obama and President Bush, although they did have seemingly more in common than President Obama and President Trump.
Yeah, probably so. There's been a lot of you look back at George W. Bush. He had faith-based initiatives in his time in office as well. I don't know that if he got to the point of a task force. I don't remember that. But this is one of the things that really shouldn't surprise, people on either side of the aisle, because this was something that the president campaigned on. He talked about how you'll be able to say Merry Christmas again, and things like that. That was one of the pieces that was pretty standard in a lot of his campaign trail speeches.
And then, of course, you have the Attorney General always in the spotlight, where people are upset with him on one side or the other. On the other hand, besides the Russian investigation and everything else, which is huge, Jeff Sessions is doing the job that Donald Trump hired him to do, at least in my opinion. How do others see it?
A lot of people agree with that he's he's carrying out the things that the president wants carried out. I don't think that, you definitely can't look at what he's doing and disagree with that. Now, yeah, there are a lot of people, including the president, who aren't happy that he recused himself in the Russia investigation. You're exactly right about that. But as far as putting things in place and carrying out what the president thought was important and needed to be carried out in the first place, that's what he's been systematically doing.
Right. And I'm a little biased. When I worked at Alabama, there wasn't a better guy to get quotes from and to be accessible than Jeff Sessions, in my opinion.
Really? So he was good to get quotes from?
He was good to me. And, that's what it's all about, as you know.
Well, of course. I mean, it's all about Kevin.
No, I'm speaking for the entire media community, not Kevin.
Okay. I'm sorry. I misread that quote then.
Yes, I saw him a couple years ago, and I said, "Hi there," but he just kind of looked at me. Who's this strange, sweaty, rotund guy? And I go, "Well, time to go." His security was giving me the once-over. But it's fascinating. As you know, when you delve into these stories, there are so many sides to it. I just wonder if there'll be people speaking out about this, if there'll be any ramifications, considering religious liberty goes to the very core of our essence, not only personally and whether we're faith-based or not, but to the founding of the republic.
It does. I mean, there are a lot of people who already are kind of, I will say, cautiously optimistic that this is going to be applied evenly all the way around. I think that would be probably the big question for a lot of people is, okay, do you mean all religions, or do you mean, Protestant religions, or, what do you mean as far as, which ones they're going to make sure are protected? Is it going to be the same across the board? And I think that's the big question in a lot of people's minds.
Well, as someone who worked in the South and, we both have that in common, that can be the sticking point.
Yeah.
I covered Roy Moore in the original Ten Commandments days, and it was fascinating when you'd go on the air and you'd play devil's advocate and say, well, if you do it for one faith, you have to do it for all, and that's when it gets sticky.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of those things that a lot of people are going to watch to make sure that, it's not being carried out in favor of one group more than another.
Right, and that's really what the Constitution is about, not favoring a faith.
Yeah.
See, you have a budding future as a political expert.
I really don't.
No, we could actually say that you're the one that gave us Donald Trump.
I really don't know how you could say any of that, or that I'm a political
You were there
expert.
from the very beginning.
I was there from the very beginning.
You were. You gave us Trump.
So were a lot of other people.
By the way, let me apologize in advance for this personal message. Have you checked out this week's Time magazine?
I have not.
See,
no,
this is
why?
what I like.
What am I missing?
Because you're working, and I just figuratively live through other people. It's a giant issue on the changing dynamics of your homeland, otherwise known as the American South.
Really?
Yeah, you'll love it. It's the cover is the Democratic candidate for governor in Georgia. There's a great essay about the Church of the South, the SEC, from our friend Paul Feinbaum. And just to really, I would urge you to go pick that up.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing the cover, and I remember thinking, I need to read this article about, because somebody had flagged it and said, hey, this is good. I thought, I got to go back to that. And it was one of those I forgot to go back to. So I'm glad you brought that up, because I would like to read that.
Well, sometimes I provide value.
Well, yeah, sometimes, yeah.
I appreciate that. And as your people would say, bless your heart, ma'am.
Oh, wow. Okay, I see where we're going now. That's all right.
Tanya J. Powers, we always appreciate your insight and reporting and humor. Now more than ever.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Tanya J. Powers joining us. Kevin Miller in the morning. Blessed to be a part of your day. Phone numbers 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Remember the possible government shutdown. The president, if you haven't heard, he had a press conference yesterday and said, look, here's how it goes.
If we don't get border security, after many, many years of talk within the United States, I would have no problem doing a shutdown.
Why, Mr. President?
We need border security. Border security includes the wall, but it includes many other things. We have to end the lottery. We have to end the chain. the chain is like a disaster. You bring one person in, you end up with 32 people.
Hey now. Hank in Boise with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Hank.
Good morning. The president's political instincts are superb. By timing this before the election, it puts the Democrats who are running from red states on the spot. If they support basically Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, the Democrat leadership, in stopping the wall, I think it's going to have bad effects. And for those squishy Republicans such as McConnell and Ryan and the leadership roles over there at the House, it puts Ryan's retiring. McConnell, I assume, is going to run for re-election in 2020 in Kentucky. It's not going to look good in Kentucky if McConnell is cited as the person in leadership in the Senate who defeated the border security. It's not. It's, in other words, they want to kick the thing past the election, because then at that point the president has no leverage and they can kick the can down the road. By putting it before the election, it forces them to make unpleasant choices that they rather avoid, and that's been the problem all along. And I think that the president's timing on this is superb, because I can't see anything but win-win on this.
I would agree with you on this. It would be easy to dismiss this, but the president's going all in, and I don't blame him.
I think if he's got if he's got the nerve to move, because he's got to come under terrific media fire. I mean, you're going to have, and not only that, but you're going to have erstwhile people who you assume are conservatives, like your Weekly Standard people, the people who are the so-called Washington D.C. Beltway conservatives coming down against him on this too. So he's going to be facing just not only the usual fire from ABC, NBC, Washington Post, New York Times, and all those people, but he's also going to be facing fire from the likes, again, of George Will and the rest of those, Crystal and the rest of those crew on this issue too. So if he can withstand the heat, he will win on the long term on this.
Hank, thanks for the call, and thank you for listening to KIDO Talk Radio.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. More calls next. Tom Munz and Cindy and you, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Are you with America and the president, or are you with the libs? Next, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Rolling right along, blessed to be a part of your day, saluting those that work in the oppressive heat today and every day. Kevin Miller in the morning on KIDO Talk Radio. Let's get back to your phone calls concerning the shutdown. Earl in Meridian. Good morning, Earl. Welcome back, brother.
Kevin, good morning. As usual, bless you, bless your staff. Just a great show. It's just a joy to listen to every day. It's nice to hear people who have like-minded thoughts. I was talking to Ray just a moment ago about how we're losing the battle of language again. It's, quote, Trump wanting to shut down the government. You know, when Obama was elected, and every time the Republicans started moving towards, hey, this is not right, we need to go ahead and not fund this, and they would say, well, the Republicans are shutting down the government, and there was a mandate by the people for President Obama, so we should be doing everything Obama wants. Well, there was a mandate by the people. They want the wall. These people are shutting down the government, not Trump, not the Republicans. Just, you know, they play that blame game of it's us shutting down the government, and it's not. Now, some of that language may be being used because the midterm elections are coming up, and they want to take responsibility to say, hey, look, we're trying to get our work done, and the Democrats are blocking it. But again, with the language of I'm the one shutting down the government, how are we going to make that case?
Well, I think, again, we're seeing something that we'll never see again, a president that marches to the beat of his own drummer, not that of the political party.
I am in such agreement, especially the minute he said that he was willing to do that. Wasn't it Mitch McConnell who came out and said,
Yep.
Yep. I said, well, we may not go that far. Yeah, we should. When people then talk about how we're going to get Mexico to pay for this, how much aid do we give to Mexico? Take out the money that we're giving to them in aid, and they have paid for the wall. So I do see where he has a plan to get this paid for, and I personally think he's just doing a wonderful job. I've been very happy with the job he's doing. a lot more than I thought I would. You know, when we were at the parties, I was really big into Ben Carson. I really thought he was a great guy, but Trump is just doing a job. And I think, I don't know if you remember, I said during the party when he talked about health insurance and tearing down the barriers between states so that there could be more competition, I thought that was a brilliant idea, and that's what really sold me on Trump. And I hope he gets that done and done soon. So.
Fair enough, Earl. Thanks, and thanks for listening. Appreciate you, brother.
Kevin, bless you, bless your staff. Again, just a great show. You guys do such a good job. And again, it's so nice to hear such like-minded people. And it's nice to be reminded what other people think when you hear liberal Steve, that they have no chance. So, all right. Kevin, bless you. You please have a great day.
God bless you, Earl. Take care.
Goodbye, sir.
Bye-bye. I always appreciate Earl from our days of the debate watch parties and everything else. And we'll be gearing up for the midterms, as we always do here. Like-minded people, right? By the way, I don't think we'll get to Tom or Cindy this hour. If you want to call back, we'll get to you guys next hour. Want to make sure that you guys have plenty of time to either air your grievances or, well, I guess that's what this show has become, the airing of the grievances, or your insight. Grievances or insight, always welcome at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Let's get you to work safely and on time. And I'm Kevin Miller. Coming up next, we're going to talk about whether or not we need a convention of states, whether or not we need to reform the Constitution, and the president's decision to put it all on the line. Of course, if you're just waking up, he wants to meet with the Iranians, possibly, if they'll meet with him. A lot going on today. We so appreciate you joining us. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning.